Welcome back to Frugalman Outdoors. Today, as you notice over here, I have two full trailers full of materials that I cleaned out of a barn. We got a lot of good materials with that. So I'm going to go change my shirt and then we're going to go through some of this and I'll show you what we got for free. Okay, so now we're going to go through the barn haul. I'm going to point out stuff that we have. I'm going to take some stuff off the trailer. And as we go along, you'll see off the side over here that I'll pop up what the value of some of the things are. Some of the stuff is just good to have on hand for our crafting and our building things. So for all the DIYers out there and the fabricators, you'll see some stuff in here that we're going to be keeping just for future projects. Let's take a look. What we have here is an old washer tub. It looks like someone was using it for maybe a fire pit or burning old copper wire and stuff out, so we're probably going to use the same over here by the shop though, because it is beat up looking. We don't want this over by the house. It has a outdoor outlet in it. You know, those are pretty expensive, so the rubber gasket is there. It's complete, so we may use that on the shop or something. This looks like an old mirror that somebody had and they painted silver on it. Kind of ugly, so I'm gonna actually stick it in the shop in case we get something in our eye or something. We need to look in the mirror, that we don't have to go to the house and see it. We come along over here, you'll notice we have this heavy aluminum pipe. This one here is a 4-inch and this one here is 3.5. Don't know the value of these, but I'm gonna try to check it out online, see what they're valued at. But this one here is 14 foot long and that one there is 12 foot long. They are, looks like the wall of them is probably 3/16. I figured they may call that Schedule 40. Old sign poles is what they are, and these are aluminum signs. They came from an old campground, so they're not highway signs. Don't worry about me getting arrested. This here is a trimmer. What do you call it? An edger. It doesn't run, it's missing carburetor, a bunch of parts missing off of it, but we're fabricators, we're going to keep it. We can use it for parts for something. This here is a good find. It's a fiberglass set of steps with a wooden base inside of it. I don't know if you can see it real well, you may have to back that up. But that's good and solid. I don't have a use for it right now, but I'll find something. Or I may find somebody who needs it and either give it to them or may end up putting it on marketplace for sale. We'll see. We did pick up a couple of cinder blocks. It was mixed in with all the stuff. I think we ended up with maybe 3 total. You can always use cinder blocks. And this here is a wire rack that I plan to put a pot on. It's a little bit beat up and rusted, but I'm going to throw a coat of paint on it and then we'll see about putting one of our potted flowers or plants from the back porch on there. Bring it up to a higher level instead of sitting it on the porch. Right, we have a Lunchmate igloo cooler. And inside we have 2 full sets of dominoes and then a partial set. Nice little terracotta pot. We're always putting plants in, flowers in pots, so we'll use that for that. And this is a full dog kennel. It's ugly and beat up and rusted, but we need to put, say, chickens or ducks or something to move them, or maybe even a small dog in here. It can still be used. I presently do not have a use for it, but I can keep it in case I do. Now, a good bucket with a lid. These are from Tractor Supply. Looks like we have a couple old hydraulic fluid buckets with lids and everything. You know, these are going to be anywhere between $5 and $7 at any store that you buy a bucket. So some of them have some old oil stuff in it. We'll use it for like burn piles. But once they're empty, we'll have good buckets with lids. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Looks like we have at least a dozen or so. So that's a pretty good find there. You can always use 5-gallon buckets. A small trash can. You always use a trash can in the shop. And here we have some pretty wore out buckshot tires. I don't know anyone who needs them, but it costs money to dispose of them. I'll keep them on hand in case somebody that I know needs a spare tire for their big truck, and I'll just give it to them. And it looks like we have 3 the buckshots and 1 oddball, so we'll just set them aside somewhere. Piece of metal. These here, I was told, were benches. Oh, excuse me, stools for sitting on, and the pad or the seat part is missing. I personally plan to use them in tandem. You notice how they have a curve? We're going to put a barrel on there. That way we can put stuff in them, in the barrel, and then drain it out the opposite hole. I don't know what those racks cost, but we're going to make our own, and this is going to work just fine. We have 3 of these RV tank covers. One's for the smaller tanks, and 2 of them are for the larger tanks. This one here is not waterproof, but I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be able to use that one for anything right away. But that one over there is in good shape. I'll see what they're worth, and I'll post that down below too. Next up, a 55-gallon drum, plastic. It's already been cut out, so it could be used for hauling anything light, trash. I don't believe there's any holes in the bottom, so it could be used as a water barrel. It has a lot of different functions. That's a pretty good find. Okay, we have a set of steel steps. Believe they were used for getting in a mobile home or a trailer house or something. We probably don't plan to use them for that. We could use the steel itself. Not a bad find. They're good and solid. Handle's a little loose, but those are easy to weld up and make them tight in case they need to be used as steps. We have some old bed frames. We'll use it for angle iron for projects. This was a really good find. This is one of them tanks that you drain oil into, and it has a set of wheels on the bottom of it. And that's pretty solid. Very good find for us because we change our own oil, and we even change the oil on the tractor, so this will work real good for us. Okay, down here we have a black plastic toolbox which goes in the back of a truck. I do not have a truck to put it in. Maybe I'll find somebody who could use it. The locks are a little sticky, but if I can't find anyone to use it, I could always set it outside and put some stuff in it. Keep it out of the weather. I might even put it on a trailer or something. Don't know yet. Either way, it was free, so we took it. Here we have a metal rack that was used for shipping. I don't know what came in it, but it was sitting off the side, so we took it. There's also some metal cage down here. We can use it for something, future projects. To bring that around here, we'll take a look at this rack that's on the back side here. Pieces of styrofoam, no specific use. Never know when we're going to need them. And this one here is the rack that goes on the back of a truck or SUV. Goes into a 2-inch receiver. Solid metal. We'll use it for something. We have our aluminum one, but you never know when you're going to need another one. Let's move over to the other trailer. We picked up the cooler. This is a Igloo cooler. Looks like it's a 48 quart. It is in good shape. It's a little bit dirty, but it's all there. No damage. It's got a few pieces of junk on the inside, an old scale, some parts for tractor implements. All it really needs is a good cleaning. Right here we have a shop vac. I did not plug it in and test it, but I was told it works. We have some of the attachments around here in some of the boxes and stuff. So we already have a couple of shop vacs, but you never know when you're going to need another one. So that's a good find also. Right here we have a small aluminum ladder. It's not in great shape, but I figured we'd use it inside the shop to get up on the higher shelves. I wouldn't put a lot of weight on it, but just to get a little higher in the shop, that's what we'll do. Next up, we have an old table. The top is in bad shape, but all the legs open up and it stands. It's nice and solid. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a different top on it. We'll use it in the shop or just outside the shop. Now this here, old bench, it needs a lot of love, but I plan to use it for decoration. We're going to put it out in the front yard. It is presently Halloween time, so we're going to put a skeleton on there, maybe give them a pumpkin or something, a little bit decorated. Well, afterwards, I might go ahead and repair all the wood on it and make it to where you could actually sit on it. But for starters, it's just going to be for decoration. Right here we have some more bed frame stuff, some wheels. We'll use that for fabricating something in the future. The wheels we could always stick on the bottom of something so it'll roll around the shop easier. And this here, 2x2 tubing. It's 1/8 inch wall. It's not good enough for like trailer hitches or anything, but it's solid enough to make projects and stuff out of. And anyone who has had to do any plumbing, you know PVC is expensive. So if you have a small project where you don't need a lot of new stuff, this is Schedule 40. And it looks like it's about 9 or 10 foot long. If you have a broken water line, you just cut this whatever size you need and replace instead of buying new. Next up, we have some good steel chairs with a solid wood base. Now, it's got a little bit of rust around the edges, but we're not going to put them in the house. We could use them for like around the campfire or out at the shop or something. Maybe even at the back deck if we have a gathering. Need more places to sit. So, picked up 2 of those. They're good and solid. We'll keep them. Next up, fuel cans for boats. We have 2 of them here. It looks like a 5-gallon there and a 6-gallon there. Anyone who has to buy fuel cans for boats, you know, I'm sorry, they're both 6-gallon. No, these are pretty expensive. This fuel tank here, I believe it's for a boat. I'm not real familiar with these. It looks like it has the same attachments and gauges as it does for a boat, but I don't know if it's for a boat or a generator or something. Like I said, it came out of an RV park, so it's possible that it could be for an RV. I really don't know. But either way, it's a good solid tank. The connection at the top would have to be replaced, but the cap is in good shape. And the inside's nice and clean. So if we need fuel for something, hey, additional fuel tank for the generator. If ever you have a bad storm, you don't have to keep refilling the generator. I think we just found a use for this one. This here, we've got some Goodyear tires. These are 225/70 R19.5. I was told they come off of a big truck, not a semi or anything, but I believe it was a large dually. The guy bought new tires, and these 2 tires were in really good shape, so he kept them. Well, as you can see down here, there's a lot of tread left in those. I'm not sure the value of them, but these will probably be sold real soon. We do like tables. This here is a Lifetime table. It looks like it's been out in the weather a little bit, but it's still good and solid. Somebody did a little bit of painting on it, but for the shop or just outside the shop, it's going to be just fine for us. Here we have a Lifetime cooler. Unfortunately, the catches are broke, but we were looking online and you could buy these catches and replace them. I don't know the price on them, but we're going to check it out and we're going to probably pick those up. The seal is in good shape all the way around. Inside's fairly clean, has a little bit of dust in it. So I believe that is definitely a good find. Handles, both sides, good shape. Like I said, the only thing bad are the catches. Trash can. You could always use a trash can. Looks like we have 3 complete barrels and 1 cut barrel. These barrels are always good for stuff around the shop, inside and out. That one there has been cut up a little bit, but we have a lid that goes with one of them. That way, in case you want to put something in there, seal it down to where it can be left out in the weather or keep critters out of it. Looks like someone tore apart a deck, and that's probably part of the steps or the ramp or something. We got quite a few pieces of this. You could always use pieces of wood. This here is a counter for measuring distance. And it has a wheel on there, and every time the wheel has a peg that comes around, it hits this thing, and it counts how many rotations it is. Once you know the distance, you calculate it by how many times it came around and hit it, and then you'll know your overall distance from point A to point B. I presently do not have a use for it, but we're going to keep it on hand just in case. Here we have another oil changing tub. You can drain the oil out of your car. It's smaller than the other one, but it'll work real well for us. And a battery box. You put these on boats. Put your battery in there to keep it out of the weather. We have a little bit of hardware in here, just rebar, some pipes, and another cooler. Cooler here. It's a little dirty on the inside, but not nasty, just a little bit of dust. And good solid handle. I don't know what size this is, but we'll just add it to our cooler collection. And more scrap metals. Like I said, we're fabricators. We have all kinds of projects. You never know when you're going to need a pipe for something. Lid. And a collar. Now these here, they go underneath RVs. When they pull into a campsite, they'll bring their jacks down on top of it. That way it has a larger footprint than just the bottom of the jack. We have a few of these. Looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 7 of these large ones, and then we have 2 of these smaller ones. Don't know. I believe these interlock with each other. I don't have any use for them right now, but you never know. So we'll stick them on a shelf in the shop and go from there. And finally, we have something on the back side over here. I have no idea what these are. I thought maybe they went on the back of a motorcycle or something. But either way, they're made out of steel. You may use them for something. If you know what they are, leave me a comment below. Let me know. They kind of look like they strap onto something and you can stand on them. I really don't know. But if you know what they are, give me a holler. And then one more thing. We have a bucket full of stuff. This one here is a charger for a Ryobi 14.4 volt charger. I believe I have a battery that can be charged in here. And then we have a whole bucket full of nuts and bolts. And then these here are used for holding the wheels on mobile homes, trailer houses. A few years ago I had to buy a set of them, and they were around $12 for, I believe it was for 5 of them, for the collars and a set of bolts. I believe these are for the U-bolts. But we have a whole bucket full of them. So I'll sit them in the back of the shop in case someone I know needs them. I'll just give them a couple handfuls of them. That way it can save them some money. And then we have here an old bed frame. And looks like a folding cot bed frame. So we'll probably use the metal for projects or something. So I believe that's it. thanks for joining me on our barn haul or free stuff. And thanks for watching. See you next time.